Today's video is a celebration in part of the all-new quantum superposition blockbuster Schrödinger's cat. The Escape Plan. The screenplay by Einstein, Schrödinger, Bohr and Dirac, starring, pussy galore. Who else, dude? Who else? The question on everyone's lips, including pussies. What happens at the end when the waveform ultimately collapses in Copenhagen? In other news, a cranky old boomer just emailed me, discontent about, this and that. Aren't they all? And I thought, why should I sit here and suffer alone? And here you are. I never actually elicit this tsunami of discontent about automotive this or automotive that, but it is a pretty interesting window from time to time into the underlying condition we call consciousness, like median consciousness. What is that really like, and what are the big issues that people have to grapple with from time to time? Anyway, this is from an dude whom I will call Mark Arse, henceforth. And Mark Arse says, John, would be interested in your thoughts on this issue. Purchased a Hiace in 2024. Had it converted to a camper van. I can see where this is going, actually, and I'm not liking it at all. In fact, I would just say at this point that serial killers are everywhere, at least potentially, just saying. And I think by now we pretty much all know the kinds of vehicles they drive. This video is possible by virtue of my two enduring side hustles, which are A, I get new cars cheap for ordinary Australians just like you. So if you want, mainstream transportation without the thrill, the surprise, some would say the delight of going face to face with a car salesman and wondering just how hard you're going to be touched up this time, we can take that off the table for you. You will not have to go face to face with any car salesman. We will negotiate the lowest possible price and pass this saving on to you, and even organise the test drive if you don't want to darken the dealer's door in this unsolicited way for fear of being stitched up on the spot like blah, 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 blah. Get the number of that truck. That happens quite a bit. You were going in for a test drive only, and you only wanted to spend $45,000, and all of a sudden you're driving out in a brand new car, you're spending $100,000 and the repayments are more than the mortgage. How the hell did that happen? Anyway, we can take all that off the table. There's no obligation. We don't even charge you a fee if you go ahead, dude, because we bill the dealer, seeing as we found you, which seems like a pretty good deal for you, frankly. So, link in the description, just fill in the form. I'll put my people in touch with your people, and hopefully everyone will live happily ever after. And also, if you want home solar without the whole snake and cowboy interaction there, the snakes selling you low-quality products and the cowboys installing them badly on the roof, we take all that out of the picture as well and design a robust system using high-quality components with engineering oversight that will perform really well for years to come, with local inventory and even better local support. No freaking chatbot in China. I know that's something that I won't miss ever. So we can do all of that. It's the same no obligation deal. It's really well thought out. And it's not that much more anyway to get a really high quality system that performs well and is reliable for years to come. If you're interested in that, the federal government's also throwing megabucks at anybody who wants a battery for their home. This can be a brand new battery together with a brand new system up there, or it can be a brand new battery going on your existing solar system, or it can be a brand new battery to augment the solar and battery system which you already have installed. If Chris Bowen is throwing money just be polite and catch, dude. I mean, it's not that hard. It's actually pretty satisfying. And the team will do all of that paperwork in the background so that you get the maximum benefit and you won't be finger lifting at all on any of that stuff. So that's kind of nice as well. Link in the description. No obligation whatsoever. And now let's go back to Mark Arse and his alleged problem. The story so far, Mark Arse is ensconced in his serial killer's 2024 high ace. And he says, quote, or do regular trips and therefore between services, or may only travel 2,000 kilometres. Right, converted to a camper van, does irregular trips. I recommend Metamucil, Mark asks. That'll get things moving. They'll be Teflon coated, sun and regular as clockwork. Problem solved. You're welcome. Just get out more. Do what really matters. Marcos continues, delayed my 6 monthly service by a month or so on the basis of having done such low KM apostrophe S since the last service, or was chastised by the service reception for being late for the service. Imagine getting chastised for free. Like, dude, I generally have to pay Helga or Gertrude up the street handsomely anytime I'm in need of that kind of assistance. Like, there's no charity anymore. Everyone, always with the friggin' handout, have you noticed? Free chastisement at a particular Toyota dealer, whom I won't name. Marcus goes on and says, when I explained the reason I was quote-unquote late, they gave me some horse shit explanation. I would say, Marcus, that horse shit is one word, dude. That pro tip. The education system has a lot to answer for in this nation. Like the basics, horse shit, bullshit, dog shit, all one word. I'm sure we did a lesson on that back in the 70s anyway. Horseshit explanation with words to the effect that the vehicle will somehow be compromised if it was not serviced, if it were not serviced. That's a subjunctive, Marcus. If it was not, what were not serviced, I can't say it, at 6-month intervals. And, he continues, or was risking the cancellation of the fixed cost servicing deal and was cautioned not to let that happen next time. They do like treating you as if you're a 10-year-old who's been in some way recalcitrant, don't they, in the service department? Anyway, Marcus goes on and says, or also was required to get the servicing back in sync. It's not funny. Sync has a Y, Marcus. See horseshit, etc. explanation above, and the attendant education system failures that abut issues such as this. Anyway, where were we? Back in sync with a Y. With the 6 monthly services since the purchase date, which means an even shorter period next time until my quote-unquote next due service, exclamation mark, full stop. This just is perfect. Like, you couldn't just copy and paste it into ChatGPT and say, unfuck this for me, would you? I mean, the guy reading it out to the public is going to be like pretty OCD about this and that grammatically. Could you just, get for me? Where do we start? Exclamation mark, full stop. It's kind of like wearing belts and braces, isn't it, while you shout. I walked away feeling that I had just been, quote, anally penetrated. They don't normally throw that in for free, do they, Marcus? That's a totally Gertrude and Helga situation on that one. I suppose this feeling is either good news or bad news, depending on one's personal proclivities. Usually bad news in prison, as I understand things. But I assume he's using it metaphorically. I certainly hope so. But I guess ultimately this kind of thing depends on how the dealership actually delivered that remedial servicing advice. What did they actually use, I wonder, to jam the point home? The mind boggles, doesn't it? Anyway, Mark Arse goes on and says, upon reflection, I thought to myself, if it's essential, in all capital letters, presumably to denote shouting, when, let's face it, an exclamation mark without the full stop would probably suffice. If it's essential to have my vehicle serviced every 6 months, irrespective of the KM apostrophe S, why wasn't I required to have it serviced 6 months from the date of its manufacture as opposed to the date of purchase? Question mark. Full stop. Which I suppose is how you know that's not accidental somehow. Question mark, full stop, Jesus Christ, dude. We do need to go back in time rather a long way, don't we, in the case of Mark Arse, to fix the education system. Like teachers just allowing students to sleep like that endlessly during English class. It wasn't that way for me at school. They had the ruler and the cane back then, I note. And I'm a boomer, like Mark Arse. You know what, I'm getting a sense that he's a boomer. Anyway, if I'd been born just 7 days later, I wouldn't be a boomer. I certainly blame my parents for that, let me tell you. Anyway, where do we start in answering this question? Well, you weren't required, Mark Arse, to get it serviced 6 months from the date of its manufacture because you didn't own it the day it was manufactured. So there's that. Mark Arse goes on and says, I'm sure he talks like that, I am tempted to put this scenario to the dealership. Yes, jam it home to them. Make them feel a bit AP. I am getting the distinct stench here of cranky old boomer from Mark Arse, I'd have to say. The cheeky overtone of Dunning-Kruger and a little bit of Helga. For free. Hate it when it's free. Somehow not as good as if you pay for it. I'd say to Mark Arse, do it, dude, do it. Do it. Put it to the dealer. I know they're waiting for it. They're gagging for it. They're waiting for you to come back and just tell them exactly how you feel about this and hit them with your logical fallacy about from the date of manufacture. See how they roll with that. Get back to me with how they go. Tell me how it goes, dude. The high ace, interestingly enough, the high ace fucking service interval is 6 months or 10,000 kilometres. I just looked it up. Whichever comes first, like most servicing, that's just how this is, dude. Come on. This is an agreement, like a contract that you enter into with the manufacturer, in this case, Toyota. Now, does it need to be 6 months, 10,000 kilometres? Who knows? Is that just something that Toyota retains to keep their dealer network happy? There's probably a part of that, but you knew it going in, dude. It's in the owner's manual. There's a service indicator in the car. They put a little helpful sticker up the top saying next service in 6 months or 10,000 kilometres. Your warranty depends on it. Your consumer law entitlements depend on it. If you get your fucking serial killer van serviced in the service department and then just park it on the street out the front for 6 months, the next time you drive it should be back into the service department, despite the fact that it's done a big fat 0 kilometres, dude, because things degrade over time and other services are cumulative, like brake fluid is hygroscopic, meaning it absorbs water. So you have to bleed the brakes, irrespective of whether you've used them or not, from time to time, every, 18 months or 2 years or something. And there's a whole bunch of other things such as that degrade in the time domain, irrespective of whether you drive the frickin' car or not. And if you only drive a little bit, like 2,000 kilometres, this is hell on earth for your engine oil. It just is. It's really hard for engine oil to function if you're only doing short trips and a very small amount of driving. It doesn't get purified by operating at, its optimum temperature for a long time, and there's a lot of combustion byproducts in the first few seconds of engine operation, so they all bleed down into the crankcase, and then you don't get to evaporate them off. So yeah, if you don't drive it very much, it's in some senses a fairly severe operating environment for things like engine oil, and you need to just be responsible about it and suck it up like a big boy boomer instead of just having a frickin' bleat. Marcus goes on and says, "What say you, O wise one?" Well, Mark asks, I'd suggest that you have scraped the bottom of the barrel and the bottom of the barrel has responded. I've got 5 basic recommendations for you, Mark asks. I made a list of the things that you need, in my view, if you don't have a time machine, for example. Number 1, pick up a copy of Fowler's Modern English Usage and use that as your miracle cure for insomnia, dude. There might be a picture version or perhaps scratch and sniff to make it more easily digestible. I don't know, but have a crack with Fowler, dude. It might help you immeasurably. No full points, I note, on the end of other quasi-sentence ending mechanisms such as question marks and exclamation points. Fowler's pretty clear on that. Number 2, failing that, jump in your time machine and then just pay more attention to grade 3 English, dude. Don't think about boobies quite so much the second time around. What did I just say? Right? It is hard to concentrate, isn't it? I love the Giants. They are fabulous. One of the best teams ever. Everyone loves the Giants, I note. Number 3, do a remedial critical thinking course. Dude, good advice for nearly everyone in Australia. Learn how to make a reasoned argument. Well, what about when the car got manufactured? When was 6 months from that? And why didn't you service it? Number 4, anus sol might help with those service department interactions in the future. It often does, and in other situations. Number 5, do I really need to say it? Get the frickin' car serviced on time, dude. It's the time or the distance, whichever comes first. And if you hardly ever drive, get it serviced on the basis of time. And if you drive a woolly lot, just get it serviced on the basis of distance. This is what happens to everyone. If you're an Uber driver or a taxi driver or something, you'll be getting your car serviced every couple of weeks. And if you're a serial killer who only goes out, I don't know, loosely let's call it hunting, once or twice every 6 months, then you'll probably be getting your car serviced on the basis of time.